Hey guys, it's Des here, and today I quickly want to go over a trade that helped us bag over 500% on SPX puts, and let's get straight into it. So what I wanted for today was a pump and a dump into the market, and that's exactly what we got. So I was watching this 58 area on SPX, or on ES, excuse me, to actually get taken out as buy side liquidity, and then trade into this 1 day fair value gap that's bearish and reject. And as you guys can see, this is exactly what we got here. And now let's break it into the shorter time frames. So before the FOMC meeting actually came out, let's go to the 5-minute chart here. Before the rates came out, before Powell came out, we actually took out intraday sell side here, as you guys can see. So this gave me confidence that, while the meeting was happening, we would come out and take out this 58 area that was actually buy side liquidity, and that's exactly what we got. So now let's break it down on the even a smaller time frame. So we got the break of 40.58, and we actually got this dump all the way back down to 40.22. However, I was still remaining cash here just because Powell had just started speaking, and I was like, we could say something, we could bring it back up, we could quickly knife. I would rather just wait and see and let the market digest what he's saying. So that's exactly what happened, and my target was actually this high being broken. And I was like, once this high actually breaks, I'll look for sells if you get some type of break of structure. Because reminder, we are still in a daily bearish fair value gap, so my overall bias was still bearish. As you guys can see, we swept this high and we ended up getting this break of structure candle here. And this is where I actually entered SPX puts. Just because it was such a high volatile day on, because Powell was speaking, whatever, I was like size for 0 in SPX puts. I went lightly, and my target was actually 4,003 buy side or sell side liquidity, excuse me. So let's go to the 5-minute chart, and I'll show you guys why I had that area marked out. What I wanted was for this area down here to get swept. As you guys can see, we had pretty much equal highs down here, or equal lows, excuse me, down here. And I wanted this area to get swept and knifed through, so everyone could get stopped out, they could take orders out, whatever whatever the case is. But I wanted price to trade back into here, and let's see how this played out. So while I was in the puts, I entered at 11:55. After this break of structure occurred, I was like, I'm gonna take these contracts all the way to 4,003, or if they hit $1,000 a contract, because these contracts are moving really quick. This is almost a 50-point move, and we actually ended up selling the bottom near here at $1,000 per contract from $1.60. So $160 into $1,000 off of one contract, over 500% gainer on SPX. So I took the sweep here. My overall bias was bearish because we were in the daily bearish fair value gap. And also, which I want to show you guys, actually NQ was setting up for also a sweep of liquidity. So while ES made its high, right, when ES swept this liquidity here at 40.58, I still wasn't fully convinced that we would break it all the way down because NQ hadn't taken buy side liquidity yet. As you guys can see, NQ still had this high, and I was waiting for this high to get swept, and as you guys can see, we came back and swept this high, and that's when ES actually made this high here, and then we had the break of structure where I entered. So we didn't quite get 4,003 here that I was watching. However, this is where you go in the higher time frame and see if you didn't catch this move, where the possible retracement could occur for you to get back into the trade. And I like using the 1, 3, 5, and 15-minute chart a lot, looking for fair value gaps. So now let's go to the 5-minute chart, and what do we see here? Well, we see that we have structure here, right? We have structure, and this structure was holding here, 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 here for like almost an hour. The structure was holding. Even when we dipped all the way down to 40.20, the structure still holds as the candle closed above. So finally, at this 11:55 candle, we also had a breaker structure. So when price decided to bounce from 4,005, I was looking at this fair value gap to come and reject. I didn't take this trade, but I called this trade. I was in my Discord. I was like, I think, I know we're going to reject this fair value gap, and we're going to hit this sell side liquidity here. What did we do? We had this 5-minute fair value gap. Your contracts get filled, and then we had this 1-minute order block that I was watching to get actually broken here. And then once we got that 1-minute order block break, it was all history from there. We just kind of melted down all the way past 4,003, and then we ended up all the way at 39.67 and after hours here. I didn't trade ES today or any future accounts. It was strictly options. That's the only trade that I took. was this SPX trade, and I hope this kind of helped break it down into simple terms, what I was looking for, what I was watching. I was live with the whole team while this was happening. I was explaining my thought process while this was happening, and overall it was a really good day to trade. FOMC, always got to fade the first move. We had this pump, and then Powell started speaking, and then we had this massive sell-off towards the end of the day. Well, this is how we secured 500% on SPX. So, if this helps, make sure you guys drop a like and everything. I appreciate all the support. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. And until next time, I will catch you guys.